Previously on The Howard Stern Show.
Pete went over to Rick's Cabaret with Ronnie.
Okay.
With who, Ronnie?
Ronnie, the limo driver.
I didn't bring Pete there.
Okay.
Pete is a big boy. He's 34 years old. He heard about I was doing something there. I got there about 8:45. I went upstairs. We were having dinner with Lonnie and Sal and a few other people. And when I came downstairs out of the elevator, there was Pete waiting in the lobby of Rick's. Now, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to leave.
Why are you getting defensive about it?
Because some listener sent something in
right, and
saying
sent
that,
it to me.
I got the guy drunk and I brought him up on stage and made an idiot out of him. I didn't do any of that crap. He gets an email from a listener. Let the listener call in if he's got something to say.
No,
why
he
does
did the right thing.
Why does he have to be
Wrong.
the one right
Wrong.
away to throw me under the bus?
You're wrong.
What
First of
is
all,
up with that?
I read that email and didn't think it was throwing you under the bus at all.
Well, not
Number
according
two,
to the way,
JD's
not
job.
according to the way I heard it from the phone call I got on Friday.
I want to know
supposed to work.
who reported the story to you, because I want to take them off to my list.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Tell me the
I'm
person.
not going to do that.
Why not?
Because I'm not.
But they're spying on me.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I am taking now. What I'm doing is because you won't give me the name. I'm taking off Tim Sabian off this list. I'm
Knocking
taking off.
everyone off.
I'm knocking everyone off because you're right. Someone is a leak in my organization who's
Someone
messing
doesn't
with
know how
me.
to keep their mouths shut.
Right.
Jared is not on Guys, so Jared's not the culprit.
I think
No.
I think he does have access to Tim Sabian's
Tim
email.
Sabian. Take Tim Sabian off, please.
Well, it might have been somebody who has access to Tim's
Yeah.
link, though.
It was Jared.
I'm not saying it was anybody.
Our program director is out of the loop.
Hey, Howard.
Are you the rat?
No, and I'm so upset about this because I lied to someone about this, and I'm going to get in even more trouble now.
What do you mean?
I lied to Tracy to try and cover it up so that people didn't get in, any trouble, like my boss.
Tim,
Yes, sir.
who do you think the rat is?
There's no rat. It was just proper business procedures. There was no rat in the entire mix of this whole thing.
So JD, there's a rat among us,
Apparently.
and you think it's Jared?
That's my
Your first guess, right?
first guess.
You really like this Jared guy, don't you?
Oh, did you hear her?
Oh, here we go.
JD attacks Jared.
No, really. The guy is a good-looking guy, and JD hates him.
And 1 week later, Howard's staff rat remains anonymous.
Wheels, you're on the air in Bristol, Pennsylvania.
Hey, how you doing, Howard?
Hey, Wheels.
I was calling about this whole thing with Ronnie and Rick's. I was always wondering, like, all these young guys hang out with him. Do you think there would be the same affection for him if he wasn't connected to the strip club?
Well, I mean, I think that's Ronnie's cachet. I think.
But, I mean, the guys like Ronnie.
Yeah, the guys like hanging out with him.
Yeah, no, Ronnie's a fun guy to hang out with.
I know, he seems like fun to party with and all, but I think this is what...
Yeah, by the way, this whole rat thing, like, I couldn't even remember what it was that what the rat supposedly talked about, but then I remembered.
Yeah,
I
I forgot too.
Yeah, the whole thing was, the way I work from home is we have a little group of guys who all write for the show. And basically the guys who write for the show are like me, Fred, Sal, Richard, and Benji. That's the group. So what happened was we named the group Guys, Guys, and we write to each other. So then, like, Doug Goodstein from Howard TV started saying, you got to put us in Guys so we know what's going on. Howard TV needs to know what's going on. I go, well, really, why, though? I announce what's going on. No, it puts us in the loop. We can plan ahead. If you guys are planning to do something, we can have an astronaut costume for it. I said, okay, that makes sense to me. So I put a couple of the guys from Howard TV in this Guys group. Then other people, like JD said to me, hey, I can contribute. We put them in Guys. So now there's probably about 30, 40 people in Guys.
30 or 40?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it kind of worked. Like you wouldn't believe it. Like Scott the engineer sends me a lot of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like he reads the paper a lot. He goes to these weird websites and finds a lot of interesting things we actually end up talking about on the show. So it makes sense. There's a lot of contributors there.
Richie Wilson, I noticed.
Richie Wilson's you.
Yeah.
Richie sends me tons of stuff, and it's always good. And yeah.
So you don't want to cut down the guys?
Well, no. I mean, because people contribute in different ways. So then what happened was we get an email that Ronnie was at Rick's Cabaret with Pete. And medicated Pete.
An intern.
The intern. So one of the people on the guys list read this thing and said, uh-oh, called up Ronnie, said, hey, I just read a piece of email that came in. And Ronnie, there might be a problem because you were there with an intern and Pete and this and that and the other thing. So I got a little miffed because I said, well, wait a second. If you guys are going to read the guys thing and to go report to people what it says in my guys, I gotta stop that because I don't want it reported on. Am I explaining this accurately?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfectly.
So I got pissed off and I said to Ronnie, okay, who told you, which guy from my group told you this? And he goes, well, I can't tell. I don't want to rat him out. He was just trying to help me. You know, so then I said to Ronnie, well, aren't you loyal to me? Shouldn't I know who the rat is? And then Ronnie got so defensive and worried about it was driving him crazy. Meanwhile, if the guy who had told Ronnie had just walked in and said, hey, listen, I'm sorry, but I thought that Ronnie was doing something wrong. I had to alert him.
Right.
And I won't do it again. But the guy who told Ronnie got really scared. And he told Ronnie, don't give me up. Because I'll lose my job.
Because now he thought he was in danger.
He thought he was in danger. So everything got really scary around here.
I know exactly who it is now.
So then Ronnie wouldn't tell the name.
Right.
And I told Ronnie, you're being disloyal to me. You got to tell me. Meanwhile, I don't even know that I cared that much. I just thought the whole thing was funny.
Yeah, it was funny because it was like a prison thing.
Yeah. So everything got really crazy. So I said to Ronnie goes, this is crazy. This guy should come forward on his own. Why do I have to do this?
Right. Ronnie's fallen on the sword. The guy should come up and say, I am Spartacus.
Right. So meanwhile, Ronnie was saying, look, I'm not going to give up the guy's name. I'm no rat. But meanwhile, he kind of forced the guy to.
Well, that's what he said. The guy, he needs to come in and step up and take the weight.
Which Ronnie was right. Because Ronnie was going to have a nervous breakdown over this.
Yeah, Ronnie was not handling it well.
Ronnie was on the wrap-up show saying he was quitting his job. I was like, what, are you crazy?
He was saying he was going to quit?
Yeah.
He
said, that's it. I'm leaving. I can't take it anymore. Everything's coming down on me.
Why is he so...
I don't know.
Drama queen.
I don't know. He was being a drama queen. Very good word.
You can't have any fun with him.
So I was about to leave here on Thursday and...
the rat stepped up?
Well... came to me shaking, like really upset. Like I would say on the verge of tears. And I was just like, oh, this is too crazy. I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Come on, that would have been great for the air.
Oh, my God. I was just like, I just want to get out of here. Now I got to hear this. Like I wanted to leave.
Who was it?
Well, wait. I'm in a rush. You got 10 hours to kill. So I go. I didn't even want to deal with it. So I go, listen, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
I don't even care. I said, the only thing I'm pissed off is now Ronnie feels good and now the whole controversy ends. The wrap-up show was doing shows on this. The Superfan Roundtable was doing shows. Ralph did a whole thing about who they think the rat is, their top 5 picks.
Oh, who were their top 5
Oh, my God,
picks?
so many different picks.
And were they anywhere close?
I don't want to say because that'll give it away.
Oh, stop.
So anyway,
you're telling me you're not going to tell me who this
wait a
rat
second.
is?
I want to talk it over with you. So I'm standing there, and the guy, and you know what? I love this guy. He didn't mean anything bad by it. And I told him, don't worry. I'm not taking away your job. I don't take away anybody's job.
He was never in fear of losing his job.
No.
There was no...
But he was.
He was about to lose his place on the guys list.
Well,
that's all.
He thought he was out of a job because...
But you never threatened that.
He thought he was out of a job if he came forward.
You never fire anybody. Sir.
I know. Fire him. I'm like a jury. I feel bad for the guy.
Bunch of pussies.
Yeah. Bunch of pussies. Go ahead. Say it louder. Don't whisper it. Right.
All right.
Even now, coming up and ratting himself out in secret.
Well, I went home and then I said, shit, I wish I'd had more time to deal with it. Because at least I would have sat the guy down on the couch and say, look, man, I'm not taking you off the guys list, but can you cut the fucking shit? You know what I mean? Like, don't be the police around here. If you're going to be able to read my confidential writings and stuff we plan for the show, you can't be blabbing to people about it. But I just wanted to get out. So I go, listen, I'm not firing you. I'm not mad at you. Just don't do it again. Goodbye. And I left.
Faggot!
But then as the weekend went on, I got more and more, you know.
Well, fire him now. No.
So anyway, I don't even know. Who do you think it is, by the way?
Brian Phelan.
Now, what made you say that?
I just think he's really a good friend of Ronnie's.
Go ahead.
I'm sure he's on the list, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And, yeah, and I think he'd be the kind of guy who would say, oh, my God, I'm going to lose my job.
From
and,
Howard TV.
He's got a family and the whole thing, and I think he'd be the kind of guy who'd be really freaked out and scared.
But I think that feeling would go away after 2 schlitzes.
Right.
Who do you think it is, Artie?
Me, again, God, this is hard because the person I'm going to say I do like, but I think it might have been Doug Goodstein.
Goodstein?
Yeah.
What made you say that?
I think because Doug is a guy. He's a good guy, and he knows how to produce the show, and he knows how this show operates. And I think he
is that type.
He's the kind of guy who will. He's not as bad as like a stuttering John, but I think Doug knows you very well, and he knows what could create something fun. And I think Ronnie and Doug have a bond a little bit. And it was interesting to me how Ronnie was so loyal to the guy.
Right.
So,
I'll tell you why.
You think he wouldn't be that loyal to
Yeah.
Brian
Well,
Phelan?
I'll tell you why Robin is wrong off the bat, because I do remember this. Brian Phelan's not on Guys.
Oh, okay. So he's
Right.
not. That's what. Then you should
Right.
have said that. He's not on Guy.
Now, I just got a note. The whole back office thinks it's Tim.
No, it's not Tim.
How do you know?
Because he made a real issue of saying it was not him, and I think he doesn't lie.
But by the way, everyone around here has made a real issue of saying it wasn't them.
You know what? And now that Artie says Doug Goodstein, Doug is the one person who didn't say he didn't do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying, first of all, it would be really surprising if a middle management guy in a corporation lied, Robin. You're right. But I don't know. I'm just saying, nothing against Doug. If I had to say it, I would think Doug might think that was funny to create and do it.
I would, now look.
And he's on Guys.
Who do the guy, Howard TV has a collective thought. Who do you guys think it is?
We think it's Jared.
Jared.
Oh, but I thought Jared had been cleared.
Jared's been cleared.
Robin, enough with the... Who are you? Was that Flea Bailey, for Christ's sake?
Very nervous the past couple of days, pacing around, very interested in this topic, so we think that's who it is.
You think that's him?
He might have been worried if his Halloween costume was going to fit properly.
What about, what did you think it was, Gary?
Well, I'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, you know, I think.
In the office, the guys have photographs of everybody, and they've been moving them around all day long. Well, like first it was Tim was up, but then Jared moved in front, and then at one point Doug Hurwitz, who does our website, was moved up to number 3. He was a big suspect because it was also like one of the theories was whoever did it must be a guy who likes to go to strip clubs but doesn't really have the entree to get in.
Right.
So maybe trying to get into Ronnie's good graces, and so they're moving everything around. But before,
I would like the guy to just walk in here and man up.
I'm going to tell you that I had a conversation with the person on Thursday morning.
Right.
We were talking about a lot of things. It was a very sort of serious conversation. And it was one of those weird moments where within it, the person admitted it to me without even knowing it.
Yeah. You said he was like Fredo.
You know the scene of Godfather 2 where Fredo goes, me and Johnny Ola were here when they're in Cuba, and Michael goes, oh my God. That was the moment for me. I'm staring at this person. I'm going, this person just told me they're the person, and I don't think they know that.
That's why it's great to be a police officer. I talk to cops all the time, and they tell me when they got a guy in the station house, if they just leave him there long enough and let him talk,
yeah,
they all sort of give you the clue.
That's why they ask you the story over and over and over again. That's why when they say, yeah, there were discrepancies in the story, it's because each time you nutcases tell it different.
Well, because I think we weren't talking about that.
Well, there's the suspect list.
Who's
the lead?
So
Dan, the song parody man, is number...
He's number 2.
Number
so
2.
It's Tim
is number 1.
Dan, they go down. Then Doug is number 3.
And
Sal's
Sal.
number 4. Then go down. Then it was Richie Wilson. There's Doug Hurwitz. It's the only picture we have of him. Then there was Benji and Joe Jordan.
All right, now...
Benji.
Does the guy want to come in and just get it over with?
So it's nobody in here, is what you're saying. It's not Benji.
I don't think it's Joe Jordan.
No, it's nobody in here. You thought it was Artie, huh?
I'm not on Guys.
You are. Believe it or not, you are. It's just that you don't have a computer.
Oh, I'll get one, man. Sorry.
I looked at the list. Artie's on it. But
He said 50 computers, never turned them on.
I better be on.
If the guy doesn't want to come in, I guess he doesn't have to. But if he wants to just get it over with, I think he should. I'm recommending he does.
Who? Come in?
Yeah, I think he should come in.
For years.
You haven't talked this over with him.
No, I haven't. And if he doesn't want to come in, I'll respect it.
For years, I thought it was Alexander Haig.
Why leave every one of your coworkers under suspicion?
Is he coming? Yeah. He is. All right, here he is, the man of the hour. There he is.
Come on in. There's nobody there.
He left?
Pussied out.
I saw a guy walking down the hallway that was it, and then they just made a left turn.
You know it was it? You know it was the guy? You know who it is. Oh, okay.
How do you know who it is? Oh, because the guy Fredo'd.
The guy Fredo told me.
All right, so maybe he's not comfortable coming in.
Get in here.
You got to make him come in.
He's not going to be fired. It was no big deal. He did it out of...
What is he scared about now?
I don't know, but maybe he's not comfortable with it.
This is so silly.
I don't want to give anybody a nervous breakdown.
There's no threat, and nothing happened bad. You were trying to help out a friend. It was no big deal.
Seriously, I don't hold any animosity toward this person. I
It was
told him that.
actually a great thing you did.
And I've already
Only
forgotten.
bad for programming.
And I have already forgotten again what he did.
No, I understood why he did it. He thought Ronnie had done something wrong. He did it with the best of intentions.
That's right.
I don't think he did anything wrong. I said, just don't do it again. Just check with me first.
See, my theory on Goodstein is not that he thought Ronnie did something wrong, that I think he thought it would create this. Doug knows the show well.
Oh, no. No, it was nothing like that.
That was my theory with Doug.
Scott DePace couldn't have done this.
No.
He'd
No.
fess up.
No.
I'm just saying, you would fess up.
He actually confessed, but he turned out it wasn't him. He was one of those guys that likes to get credit for bad things.
He turns himself in for every crime.
Yeah, he turns himself-
shot Kennedy.
Come on. Oh, I'm like
It's
looking
not
at
happening.
the door. Not happening. The guy doesn't want to fess up.
Well, maybe not. Maybe later. Let him think it over.
I don't understand how this could be such a big deal.
No.
Hey, what about Jim McClure? Is he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is he on, guys?
Starting to think about that little fucker.
What happened?
First of all, I'm wrong.
Oh, you are wrong?
Yeah.
You don't know who it is then.
I do now.
But wait, who did you think it was?
Tim.
You thought it was Tim?
Tim and I were in a meeting. Tim and I were talking. He said to me while we're talking, he goes, we were just talking about being here in general, how sometimes we're all by ourselves, how we're like sort of a family. It was like a really nice, heavy conversation. And he goes, listen, we all got to watch each other's backs. He goes, that's why I called Howard about that thing. And I go, whoa. Tim just said, because that's why I called Ronnie. That's what he said to me.
Yeah.
So now
But
I'm
he told
Jared
Ronnie
again.
after the fact.
Right. But he saw. All right.
We knew that about
But
Tim.
I think that
during the break, I'll talk to. Don't say anymore. During the
You
break,
know who it is
I will-
now.
don't even write to me.
No, you need to.
I know it already. I don't want to.
I'm not writing who it is. I'm writing something you need to know.
I know. That's what I know. I know. I got it.
Well,
Does that have any bearing on the case?
Yes. Maybe later. Let him take some time.
Come on.
Let me just go over this.
There's nothing going on.
Let me go over the events again. An email was sent to JD.
No.
No, what happened?
Oh, yeah. An email was sent to JD. JD put it on guys for me to read.
So someone was at the strip club and saw Ronnie cavorting with an intern.
Right.
Then-
a male intern.
A male intern. Right, exactly. I'm sorry.
Cavorting?
Well, whatever. He was hanging around with him.
Right.
And then sent that to JD because he thought Ronnie did something wrong, knowing JD and Ronnie have a thing, and maybe JD would tell you then.
I'm not even sure that it was wrong.
There was nothing wrong with
They
what
were
he
just
did.
recounting the events of the evening.
Right.
Okay.
But because
Like a
it
police
was an
report.
intern situation, they thought it might be sensitive.
Right.
Howard, how did you find out about it? You just saw it on Guys?
I don't know. I forgot already.
JD sent it to guys
Yeah,
and Howard
he sent
read
it to all of
them.
But there's another big conversation going on aside
How
from
did I find out about it?
aside from who the leak is. This has been
I'm
going
not
on.
even sure this is interesting anymore.
I think it is.
This person
It is.
walks in.
You will find out the leak by the end of the show. How's
Howard, you
that?
know what? It hasn't been.
Well, what do you want from me, Wheels?
Where you going? Just sit down and get my 500 ready.
But Howard, there's an interesting conversation
fuck
going
you,
on.
Artie, you prick.
There's an interesting conversation going on in the back office that got reignited later on in the week, which is, do you think it was a dicky move for JD to send that out to guys?
No.
No.
Because a lot of guys think it was sort of like
No.
That's what Ronnie was angry about with JD.
Well, a lot of people back there sort of agree to sort of say, like, you could have just sent it to you or not sent it to everybody or not sent it at all.
All right, listen.
But he, in JD's defense now, he said he called
JD did the right thing.
Tracy to make sure that it was okay to put it on guys.
This is mail that is really sent into the show. Anything interesting should be given to me. I can't read through every letter. So if a guy sees something I don't see, he should send it to me. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything so bad.
No. When you found out, did it surprise you who it was? Did his judgment surprise you?
No, because I think actually there was some intelligence behind it, believe it or not. Like, in other words, he didn't think he was doing the wrong thing.
Oh, it's JD?
JD, you want to say it was you?
I sent it out,
JD
and I'm
reported
wrong.
himself.
No, if I felt it was that serious of a situation, I would have only sent it to you.
I know that.
Okay, no, but I'm just saying the reason I sent it to guys was because in the email it said there were like cameras there and stuff. I thought like Howard TV might have been there too.
You did nothing wrong.
Okay, I'm just
this whole thing
explaining
is blown out of proportion.
why you sent out to guys. That's all. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
All right, goodbye.
Now I'm leaving.
Leave. Leave as quickly as you can. Now,
Would
anyway.
the rat please walk in?
During the commercial, I'll talk
You're
to
gonna
the
talk
rat.
to the rat?
I'll talk to the rat.
Hey, can me, Robin, Fred, and Benji get blindfolded and try to ask the rat questions?
Yes.
I'll let you ask a rat.
Are you in music?
Wheels, you'll have the answer.
All right, and tell Will I'll help him out. I'll be a donor if he wants.
All right.
Later,
That's
fellas.
nice of you, Wheels. Thank you.
Good guess, Robin. Good guess. Close.
I can see you worrying.
I'm sweating my ass off.
Brian, it's not you?
No, I know who it is now.
Oh, you do?
I do know. I do know.
So, Brian, Robin...
Yeah, Robin
thinks
thought it
it's
was
you.
me. Robin thought it was me. I do have a friendship with Ronnie, but I am not on guys. So, I am clear. I got cleared of all charges.
Did that bum you out that Robin thought it was you?
I thought it was weird that she did. It didn't bum me out, but I thought it was weird that I was like, wow, I got picked out of the lineup. But no, I'm okay with it. I'm just happy to be announced.
Hey, man, so we're getting pretty close to figuring out who this rat is.
So, what do you want from me?
Is this taking any weight off of your shoulders?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, it must be because you don't have to hide it. You don't have to hide this person anymore.
Okay.
That doesn't make you feel better?
He was giving out
Yeah.
tickets.
Not having to lie to your boss?
I didn't lie. I just
Well,
didn't
you're
fuck.
not-
I
you're
just
not
didn't
telling
fuck. I just didn't fucking answer. I didn't lie. Don't tell me I lied.
Do you care?
Never lied.
Well, you're withholding the truth.
I didn't lie. I've never answered. So how could I be lying? Huh?
All right.
How could I be lying?
All right, fine. You're right.
I'm right.
You're
You know I'm fucking
withholding
right.
the
You know
truth, though.
that's not lying, dude.
All right, you're right. I'm telling you, you're right.
That's protecting someone. That's all it is. I'm not lying.
That doesn't mean it's right, though.
Doesn't mean it's wrong. Okay?
Yeah, but if you were in
Don't try and twist my fucking words now, pal.
If you were in a court of law,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
wouldn't be that's not acceptable.
What do you mean it's not
You
acceptable?
have to tell the truth.
I did tell the truth. I told the truth. I'm not telling. That's the truth.
I wasn't saying this to hurt Doug. They asked me a question, and I think Doug knows how the show operates. And I think my theory was he thought it would create what it's become, which is a fun thing for them to talk about on the Stern Fan Network. Besides my liver, so I don't know. Talking to Doug, I don't know. He's pretty good with this bullshit. Maybe I don't know. And now that I know it was just an axe to grind, I no longer think it's Doug. My number one person. I can't say because I don't know enough about the situation. All I know is I'd like to go to Rick's and come 5 times. Hey, now, what's going on with you, Scott? Who do you think? You're making all these crazy...
What? Make fun of my shirt so you can make
Oh,
Scott
the
happy.
shirt.
Yeah.
Well, that's another issue.
Look at that fucking piece of garbage. No, this is nice shirt.
My thing is, it fits. Yours are... You're under the illusion.
Cum-filled buttons.
They're called westerns.
Yeah.
See, if I made fun of
Well,
Scott,
first of all, wait a
I'm
minute,
desensitized to Scott's shit clothes
Did
at this point.
the guys at... Wait, get Ganji to
That's
it.
a shirt. See,
Did the guys at Howard... Are you guys shooting a Western?
Yes.
Like, what is going on?
See, this is Brokeback Mountain.
This is
if
a
you put us
polo.
together. I'm staying
Oh, it's
away.
Brokeback Mountain, all right.
These guys are gay.
But that's really ugly. At least mine's like fashionable.
If you were wearing a shirt,
This
if you
is
were
fashionable
wearing
and
wearing
cool.
a shirt of David Wright blowing a guy on the 69 Mets, it would be less gay.
Why is this gay? Explain what is gay about it.
You know what? Compared to your sneakers, that looks like something Steve McQueen would wear.
This actually probably is.
What were you in prison?
Yeah, they took my laces away, so I don't hang myself. The rat's going in.
All right. If you were listening earlier, I gave you a whole big explanation about this with Ronnie, and he was told something through my email, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through the whole explanation. If you're not up on the story, who did you think the rat was, Robin?
Well, I originally thought it was Brian, but then he's not in the guy group.
Right.
So I have switched my vote to Doug Goodstein.
All right. Oh, there's Artie.
Artie's
Artie,
the rat?
who did you say? Artie's the rat. Artie, who did you say it was? Just talk right there.
All right.
Well, who did you say?
I said it was Doug Goodstein.
Right, okay.
That was my guy.
Fred, did you ever give an opinion?
I never gave an opinion on it, and mine's biased because one of the things that I read in the email, someone claims that Ronnie made a slip during the wrap-up show and said she. So
you
I don't
picked up
know.
on that.
I'm already biased.
Okay.
Well, who could she be?
I heard that, and I still think it's Doug Goodstein.
He's girly, you're saying?
Well, I don't know.
Well, out in the hall, they were saying they for sure still think it's Jarrett.
Well, anyway, come on in, rat. Who I told you I'm not mad at. There he is, Jared.
It was Jarrett!
It was Jared.
After I defended him?
Yep.
And you'll still defend him.
Yeah.
Jared was really upset on Thursday, came to me, manned up and said, listen, I'm shaky. He was shaky. I thought the guy was close to tears. I said, listen, Jared, get a fucking grip on yourself. First of all, if you start crying, I'm going to punch you.
Wow.
And then I said, secondly, I don't care. I said, listen, just don't let it happen again. Don't read the email, and give it a... But he didn't do anything malicious. No. And you should have come in right away and said it was you.
All right, so first off, the thing that I object to is I wasn't trying to be a rat. I was trying to protect Ronnie.
Right.
It wasn't actually your guys list that I read this from. JD emailed Tim his Sirius account, which I go through to make sure that Tim is following up on some emails that are executionable.
Right.
So I noticed this, and I talk to Ronnie usually once a week just about things going on with the company, checks, things like that. And I mentioned to him in passing that I saw that there was a chance there could be an HR issue with there being an intern out because this company is very sensitive about protecting their interns.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that he didn't bring an intern out.
That's my point. You should have just said, you should come in that morning and said, hey, Howard, I made sure I was worried about Ronnie, and I made sure that he wasn't doing anything wrong.
When all of a sudden it started getting, explosive at 6:15 or 6:30 in the morning.
That's when you began the cover-up.
Well, I got nervous that I just caused a serious issue with, a confidential email, and I was just trying to help Ronnie out that come Monday he wasn't blindsided by the company and the HR, not the show.
Now, part of the cover-up was you yelled at JD on the wrap-up show for even accusing you of being
you
rat.
actually came to your own defense and said that was wrong to immediately label you.
You're like Nixon.
Because I thought the best way to deal with this was just to, I was hoping that it would just go away and that, I was able to help Ronnie, and that was it. And when it started to snowball and being a bigger issue, that you thought that there was a security issue here, and Ronnie was getting hung out to dry, I spoke to Ronnie and said, at the end of the week, I'm gonna talk to people off the air, you and Tim, and explain that it wasn't malicious, and I wasn't trying to throw JD under the bus. And when Ronnie got upset with JD, that wasn't my intention. My intention was to
but I'm saying you put yourself through a lot of stress.
I did.
You should have just come out right away and said, listen, I did it. I didn't do it to be mean or malicious, and now I understand. I'm not supposed to talk about the email to other people.
And Monday morning, when Robin came to my defense, and I think Fred may have, I felt even worse and started to really wear on me that I knew that I was going to have to talk about this, and I wanted to talk to you guys off the air first so you understood.
Do you owe JD an apology?
I did apologize to him about yelling at him on Monday afternoon, I think it was.
Right.
That, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. I just jumped to,
When do I get my apology?
I'm sorry, Robin. I'm sorry. Thank you for defending me, and I'm sorry. And
Never
yes,
again.
When do I get my invite to the bar's Halloween party?
And yes, I'll apologize to JD.
Now, Tim had even said to him, you went to Tim for counseling, right?
Yeah.
And Tim said,
this is so silly.
Tim said, this is what you get for what? I forget what he said. I never know what Tim said.
His counseling was,
no.
this is what
he said,
you get?
this is what you get when you try and help too many people. Because I was trying to protect Ronnie from a bigger issue that I thought may occur.
Right. All right. Now, from now on, I'm going to leave you on the guys list.
I'm not on the guys list.
You're not. Okay.
I'm not. And this email wasn't about the guys list. It was sent from JD first to Tim's Sirius email.
You're the only one not on the guys list.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I never even.
All right,
read
I'm
the
going to
guys
put
list.
you on the guys list.
Thank you.
Give him my spot.
All right.
I never read it on that.
Here's the thing. So whenever you read something, just come to me or Tim. In fact, go to Tim. Don't bother me.
I won't bother you.
I'm busy.
I sorry to bother you on Thursday as well.
Okay, no problem.
Hey, Howard.
Yes.
The guys at TV want to know, after Jared came out of the studio that day, he vehemently denied it and then threatened JD. They thought it's a funny video clip if you want to see it.
Yeah, let me see that. This is Jared covering up his...
Boy, oh boy.
Right.
The scumbag. JD is the absolute bottom of the earth. He's the white gook you get in between your fucking mouth. That's JD. And, he had absolutely no factual evidence for this. He just felt like throwing my name out there. So, fuck JD.
Do you have any idea who this might be?
I honestly haven't put too much thought into it because it happened and I didn't think anything of it. So I didn't even think who the rat is. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to think about it because it's not my problem. The only problem is that JD's little, rat that tries to start shit.
So in the past, you've always tried to have been civil with JD. Is that totally
I've always
gone now?
been civil with JD. And
You are
now
really
I will
good.
Go out of my way to
Boy,
fuck with
I don't
JD.
know if I
That's,
trust
I've been
anything
here
you
for 4
say
years.
from now on.
You are a good liar.
Yeah, look at you. You got a whole scenario going here.
You should run for office.
This is the part where he says he's going to go out of his way to fuck with JD.
Oh, go ahead. Let me hear that.
He's in his mind that, I'm doing things. Now I'm going to actually do things to him because he's a little shit. And clearly he can't mind his own fucking business. He's got to start shit on his own. So I'm going to really fucking show him, what it is that I can do to be arrogant and an asshole.
You remind me of those guys who kill their wives, but then they get them on TV and they go, "I want my wife back."
Right. Hey, if I start doing drugs again, can you give me lying lessons?
Yeah,
absolutely.
You did a good cover-up.
And not only that, now I remember him coming in here and vehemently denying it here and yelling at JD. And now
I didn't come in. I called him.
Well, Colden, you were on our airwaves saying to everybody that you were definitely not the rat.
But my whole belief system's off now. I don't even know if that was him.
In hindsight, yes, I should have come clean. Right
All right. Well, listen, you learned your lesson, and that's
Ronnie
good enough.
lied for you.
He did, and I
lied.
appreciate that, and I felt horrible. And
Although Ronnie did crack in a sense because he made you come forward. Like you never would have come forward. Ronnie forced you forward.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He couldn't take it anymore.
So
Jared
you were
got.
all right with your lying.
But I didn't think
He was good at it.
I didn't think, I thought this would go away and it was a bigger issue. I thought it would become a bigger issue that, it was discussed then, that it was discussed that there was an HR policy and all that. I thought that was the bigger issue.
I was mad you came forward because I was going to do lie detectors next and everything and find you out.
Yeah, you shooed me away.
Yeah, I was wondering if you would have passed the lie detector test. That would have been good.
You probably could have.
Are you attracted to me, Howard Stern?
Well, Jared, all right. Good enough. I'm glad you came forward, and now you understand when something like this happens. Just admit it.
Yeah, I'm sorry
this
about
is
that.
not the kind of place where something bad is going to happen to you.
I barely fire anyone ever.
Yeah, but I understand this situation. If a guy's afraid he's going to get fired over something that seems sort of simple, that might be the right lie to tell in life. I don't know.
I was more concerned with, breaking Tim's trust because Tim right off the bat stepped up for me because he knew that I wouldn't, I wasn't trying to be malicious and throw someone under the bus. In my head, I was trying to protect Ronnie, and I didn't realize further down the line what the consequences would be.
Right.
That you all of a sudden thought that there was a leak, that there were people not being loyal, that Ronnie wasn't being loyal to you. And from my perspective, I saw it
Look,
as...
there are no real big secrets here.
Yeah, believe me. If you read those notes, I only wish something secretive would happen in there. All right, thank you, Jared. There it is.
Jared, one more question. Did you ever give Ronnie a Dutch oven?
When did you confess to Tim? At what point in the saga?
Last week.
Last week?
Yeah.
When? Same day as me or earlier?
Yeah, I think it was the same day. Well, I talked to you on Thursday?
Yeah.
Then yeah, Thursday.
You confessed Thursday.
Yeah.
Was Tim shocked?
Yeah.
He was.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Were you polite enough to wait till he detoxed? His detox
Oh,
was
I
over?
would see now. The real good footage would have been when he first fessed up, and just how difficult that was for him.
There's a theory now going around in the back office that they think Jared is now covering for Tim. I saw Jared. I'm telling you, I spoke to Jared on Thursday. He didn't look like he was covering.
I'll tell you, I may be a good liar there, but I wasn't lying.
I know.
Tim, the last thing
Who
Tim,
knows?
when everyone started accusing Tim, if there's one thing I know about Tim is he would never ever do anything to cause you to distrust him.
I understand. All right, Jared. Thank you. We now know you are
But
the
what
rat.
was Tim's advice to that's what happens to you when you try to protect too many people or something?
No. He said, I got myself into this because I was, trying to please too many people.
Oh, I see.
right, and
You're a
Jared-
people pleaser, are you?
Jared works for Tim, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying, "Who the fuck is this Jared?" Jared works for Tim.
Jared's the abs.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
One more question. Jared, are you mad? Everyone's sending me notes. Are you mad at High Pitch Mike for taking those pictures of you in the Chippendales outfit?
I am.
Why?
Because the only reason he knew that I was up there, I don't promote where I bartend. I don't want to ever, there's two separate things. I make income on the side because, I want to supplement my income here.
In other words, nobody pays you here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Read between the lines.
No, that's not true. Tim,
It's not like you want to be a bartender.
I invited people here from the show to come up to the bar because, I'll throw them some free drinks every now and then. And I invited Mike to do so. He asked me if he had to wear a costume. I told him that, he didn't have to, but I was going to. And I explained to him when he asked me what my costume was. I told him not to come up to take pictures. I told him, it wasn't about that. I don't want that to become part of my, corporate persona. And he was the only person that did it the entire time. That no one in the bar took pictures.
Well,
no
he's
one knows.
gay and he liked what he saw.
But he only walked into the bar for 3 minutes.
Right.
I gave him a drink. He took pictures. He walked out.
Oh, yeah. So
That was it? He just came to take
all
pictures?
he did was take pictures.
What did he do with those pictures? Oh, my God.
do you think he beat off to him?
Of course he did.
Jesus.
Oh, Jared, I'm your wife. Oh.
Well, he has a picture in his office of his head on my body.
Wow.
In his office.
All right. So you asked him not to post the pictures, and he did. And now did they take them down?
I asked him not to take them. I spoke to Jason and Ganji and asked them not to put them up in the show. I just don't want these ending up on the internet.
Well, I'm glad I didn't show up at the bar because I would have taken pictures.
You're worried about your future. You know, you want to be seen as an executive.
HR could Google you when you get interviewed, and all of a sudden they got pictures of me.
Fair enough.
Chippendales.
All right.
It's
Jared.
great that in this sea of misfits, he's worried about his corporate persona.
It's great.
You got to get out of here now.
Thanks, Jared.
Take a look over here.
There he is, Jared, who has come clean now, and now he feels better. Look, he's walking around all happy again.
So you manned up, told the truth.
I did.
How do you think it turned out?
I think it went better than I thought it was going to go.
What did you think was going to happen when, even last week when it was real heated? How did you think this was going to turn out?
I thought I was going to be fired from this company.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you have worst case scenarios that are running through your head, and in my head, I thought, now that people wouldn't trust me and they would think that, I can't deal with confidential information, and that's not the case because I deal with it on a daily basis. And, I was just trying to help Ronnie out.
So Jared manned up.
Yeah.
And admitted.
Yeah.
That he was indeed the leak.
Uh-huh.
Are you glad he did this? He came clean?
Whatever.
You don't care?
What do I care? I'm not the rat.
Yeah, but you were hiding the truth.
Whatever.
You were protecting him.
Yeah, so?
Doesn't that feel good that you don't have to do that now? You don't have to worry about maybe slipping or holding the truth from people?
Slipping? I wouldn't have slipped.
I don't think he did it with any maliciousness, and I said on the wrap-up show that when the leak comes out, it's going to depend on who it is and what reasoning they have for doing it. And, if somebody like, say, Jason did it, or if Richie Wilson did it, whose really only agenda was to, just tell a friend, that would be more of a breach than it was for Jared, who's in a position to say, to see the overall thing, what's going on here. As far as, he did it more about business.
There's not a malice bone in his body, so he was just trying to help Ronnie out and trying to do something that just give him a heads up, and it turned into a whole rigmarole here. But, it came out in the end, and it always does. And he knows that if he knows something, to reveal it immediately.
Like 9/11, I don't think we're hearing the whole story here. I think there's more. I bet there were calls placed to Tim that we don't know about. Not everything's adding up. I don't see why Jared would take it upon himself to read one of Tim's emails and act on it alone. Jared's not a lone wolf. He's not. He's needy. He needs he needs his peers to appreciate him and give him a pat on the back and all that stuff. I don't buy the lone wolf theory. I think Tim was in cahoots the entire time. If Tim wasn't the actual person who started it, then I believe Tim was involved in the cover-up from the beginning. And until we could put a commission together to study this, we just have to take Jared's word for it. And we all found out today that Jared's word doesn't mean much.
Do you think this is going to hurt you now around here, your credibility?
I initially did. I think that, it was explained right. It was explained as to my thought process behind it. And I hope that that's not the case.
You glad that he came clean?
Whatever. It's cleared his head. I'm happy.
Did it do anything for you?
Took me off the hook here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at. So you're happy about that?
I could care less. I don't care.
People said, Clinton's a liar. And I'm like, well, when he did something that had nothing to do with his job, he fucking lied to keep his job. So there are some people who will say he's a liar. There's some people who will say I understand why he lied. So I think I know him well enough where it doesn't bother me, but it might bother others.
Yeah, I'm actually glad I'm holding his knife because this is what I felt was stuck in my back today.
Are you hurt by this?
I'm a little hurt. I am a little hurt. He lied to our faces, just like straight up, outright. I had a full conversation with him on Friday where I actually did a horrible thing and accused our program director of being the rat. And he just sat there and just kind of nodded along, denied I got angry at JD about being a rat.
Are you going to be able to trust him again?
Well, I mean, he's been covering up that he's not a homosexual for so long. Now I see that that's in fact the truth he is. Yeah, I mean, he's hanging out with High Pitch Mike and he has his shirt off on weekends. You be the judge. You know what I'm saying? And he's a Mets fan on top of everything else.
What's going to happen with you and JD?
I immediately apologized to JD shortly after my tirade on Monday. I went to his office and I spoke to him and said, I'm sorry for snapping at you. Didn't mean to do that. So I think things are fine. I mean, it's going to go back to I'm polite to JD and JD ignores me. So.
Did you get that? Oh, I got that. JD, so yes, you knew all along.
Well, I didn't fully know, but I had a pretty good hunch, and
So you weren't surprised when he came clean?
No, but it was my hunch, and I made the accusation, which without having fully, solid evidence, but it's just.
So I guess you can understand why he got so mad at you, because you didn't have any facts. You were just.
Yes, and also I was right, and he had to cover his tracks or whatever. I don't know. So I can't blame him.
Well, as we just saw, he gave you a hug.
Yes.
I assume he apologized to you.
Yeah. Yes.
Are things gonna be okay with you guys now?
Yes. I mean, as okay as they are. Sure.
Do you hold any bad feelings now towards him because of this situation? Because he got so angry at you.
No. I'm just trying to. I just want everything to be okay again. That's all I want. And so I'll just put this in the past and just keep moving forward.
What are you making a federal case out of it for? It's done. I know it's a slow TV day, but give it a rest already.